It is a pleasure to be here tonight. I am David Marks, and I've been honored to serve as your councilman for the past 8 years. I am no stranger to the Green Towson Alliance or to the communities of Southern Towson. I am a Green Republican. I was president of the Perry Hall Improvement Association for 9 years, where I started a community tree planting program, and since my election to the County Council, I have worked across party lines to improve the environment and the neighborhoods I represent. Here's my record. We advanced 8 new parks. 8 parks. 3 are in Towson, including Radeball Park, which we worked on for 2 years. Of those 8 parks, several were built at almost no taxpayer expense. I am particularly proud of Ridgely Manor Park, the first new park along the Loch Raven Boulevard corridor in a half-century. In 2012, I sponsored legislation that created neighborhood commons or open space zoning. We applied it to 55 acres in Towson, and along with 67 acres in the Cromwell Valley. I downzoned more acreage than ever before in Baltimore County's neighborhoods to block harmful infill development. Working together, we created the Baltimore County Bicycle and Pedestrian Advisory Committee. We built bike lanes. We required bike parking in new developments. We secured funding from Governor Hogan to plan a Towson circulator. And I established a task force to look at stabilizing the Herring Run and creating a greenway in eastern Towson. Yes, we've had development in downtown Towson, but that growth is needed to respect the integrity of the urban-rural demarcation line, which shields Baltimore County's lush green north. I've looked out for Towson's outer neighborhoods as well, whether it's by renovating 3 schools in Towson or resurfacing roads in places like Annesley or the southern half of Idlewild. I have been a thoughtful, approachable councilman, and unlike my opponents, have worked across party lines over many years to deliver real results for Towson. Thank you very much for the opportunity to be here tonight. Let's go next.
If you don't mind, I'd like to stand up. I'm not a sitting elected official. My name is Jay Payne. I'm a family man, a member of this community. I've lived in the 5th District for 20 years. A lot of people have asked why I'm running. I'm running because I care about my community and I am concerned about what's going on with the overdevelopment, public safety, and a number of various other things. Like I said, I'm a family man. I'm here for my community, the 5th District. I don't have over $300,000 worth of developer money, and there's nothing wrong with developers donating to a campaign. But when there's a sense of impropriety and your council members are dropping their PUDs, and then this is done prior to talking to the community, there is a real sense, it's where there's smoke, there's fire. Towson Gateway, my councilman, he sponsored the development initially, but when the community cried foul, I'm sorry, I withdraw my support. Same thing happened with Towson Row, the Towson Hole. My opponent started the PUD, and then withdrew his support, and we are all on the hook for $43 million taxpayer subsidized grant to the developers. There's nothing wrong with development. We need that. That was a brown zone. We need that. But we're on the hook. We need 3 high schools in the county. We need Towson High School, Delaney, and Lansdowne. I'm tired of the shell game. Like I said, I'm a family man and I care. I'm here to represent the 5th District on the Baltimore County Council. And no more shell game if I'm elected. Thank you very much. I appreciate your time. Thank you to the Towson Green Alliance, and thank you to everybody here.
Go ahead. Hi, I'm Steve McIntyre. It's the other Steve from Wellington Road who's running for the House of Delegates. But I live on Copley and Greenlee now, so small town, moved 2 blocks. But I moved back here 4 years ago after living in cities across the country and world, Philadelphia, Mount Vernon, and finally Dubai, United Arab Emirates, because the neighborhoods here really are some of the best places on earth. And yeah, I had very fond memories growing up as a kid. You know, you have this sort of freedom and liberty that, you know, you just don't get so many places in the United States now. And my platform really is based around values that I think everyone here shares, which are world-class public schools, safe communities, and that includes, you know, a pristine natural environment, trees. I love trees. Come by my house and we'll talk about the trees. And good government. You know, good government that's accountable to the people, that answers to the people, that listens to the people. And what I see going on here right now in Towson, these aren't just minor disagreements that inevitably we're going to all have coming from different perspectives about how to achieve these goals that we want. Yeah, these are fundamental, major issues. We right now are the largest HUD public housing relocation experiment in the United States. Second is Chicago. It's been imposed on us by a group of ideologues from Baltimore City who are operating largely in secret. And while we were being sued, you know, because they operate outside of democracy, David Marks has never been able to vote on Kevin Kamenitz's settlement. That's something that was just imposed on us. But while we were being sued, Towson's representative, Delegate Lafferty, is on the side of the people suing us, promoting their agenda in Annapolis. And the Home Act does a lot more than he lets on. It gives power to these unaccountable ideologues who are running this program right now with $50 million a year in federal tax money in answer to absolutely no Democratic officials. And Towson is the top target. Thousands of people relocated like dots on a map. So I've done a lot of work, you know, thousands of pages of non-public documents to actually go and research this, find out what's going on. It's going to impact the Towson high school plans. Nobody knows how many of those units are going to be allocated to Towson. That's what happens when you do things in secret. But and then there's the school board, yeah, and we'll talk about that, I think, later. So those are the two things that I really am focused on and look forward to talking to you about. Thank you.
I want to thank all the community associations and Green Towson Alliance for hosting this evening. It's a terrific opportunity to be here. For those who I've not had a chance to meet, I'm Steve Lafferty. Betsy and I lived in Idlewild for about 14 years, and now we live in Stoneleigh. And it's been terrific to be part of this community. It's been an honor, really, to serve the members of the 42nd District and to meet with people like you. I was, matter of fact, just at a meeting last night in Loch Raven Village talking to those residents about issues of concern to them. I've just finished my third term as a member of the Maryland House of Delegates representing the district. And during these 12 years, I've served on the Environment and Transportation Committee. I've focused primarily on education issues, on environmental issues, as well as on strengthening and helping communities throughout the state. I've been honored to have various leadership roles in the legislature as well. I currently chair the Baltimore County House delegation. I've chaired a subcommittee on land use and ethics issues, as well as chaired a regional revitalization work group and led a number of work groups looking at a number of the challenging environmental issues that we face in the state, including pesticides, stormwater management, as well as bay pollution. But what I also focus on as a legislator is trying to work with constituents in the communities that I represent. Over time, the district's configuration has changed. I've represented part of Pikesville, Timonium, Lutherville, and Towson, but Towson has always been at the core. And during that time, I've helped to get funding for the additions at Stoneley Elementary School and Hampton Elementary School. I've been involved in the various conversations about what Towson High's future should be, considering that the continued growth is going to put additional strains on the existing building and facilities. I've worked to get funding for the parks. As Councilman Marks pointed out, we've been able to really work on park rehabilitation. And I was able to get state money for Radaball Park, for Cromwell Valley Park, as well as Towson Manor Park. I've worked with the community at Towson High School to get money for the turf field and scoreboard and for the bleachers, as well as working with homeowners in the Overbrook community and even in Stoneley that have been plagued by flooding because of the inadequate ways that the infrastructure is servicing these communities. And recently I've worked with the Idlewild community as well and their struggle with the Sherwood market and making sure that it doesn't operate in a way that's plaguing the well-being of the community. So local issues are as important to me in serving the constituents of the district as the state issues are that I deal with when I'm in Annapolis. We just finished our 90-day session, and we're not back in session. The legislature isn't until next year. So I'm available to work with everybody on the issues that are important to them. I thank you for the opportunity.